Hi everyone, and welcome back to Purpose to Love. My name is Randy, and today I just want to talk pretty briefly about just the concept of slowing down. Recently I was listening to one of my favorite artists, Jonathan Ogden. I really like him, and he has a song called Slow Down, and I'll leave that link in the description portion of this page. But it's just a really beautiful and peaceful song, but just the importance of slowing down and taking the time to hear God's voice, taking the time to appreciate the stillness and the silence of things. So I just really appreciate the song, but it had me thinking about even now how we are not, even though we are, dealing with COVID still, and we've had to deal with lockdowns and things like that. I don't know if we've been forced to slow down from our jobs and certain aspects of our lives. I don't know if we've taken the hint emotionally and mentally to slow down. I think a lot of us are still racing through things in our minds. And so I think that even though we physically have the opportunity to slow down, I think we have to also take note of our mental and emotional opportunities to slow down. And hopefully I can talk about some things that are practical in helping you slow down mentally and emotionally. But so let's just get started. So when I think of slowing down, I think of vacation time and not having to work and not having to worry about work things or things that might, typically stress me out. But if you are someone who is working, if you're a parent and you're always working, if you're a parent and you're on the go and you have either, especially like younger ones, and you're having to be busy and you're running around, try to think of like slowing down in a different aspect, not necessarily about work, but slowing down in your mind, slowing down in how you see things, just because I think it makes a big difference. Not everyone has the opportunity not to work or not to have children to take care of, which I understand completely, but I want to kind of take it from a different perspective in terms of slowing down. So one of the first things I think about in terms of mentally, like trying to slow ourselves down, is pausing, right? Anytime, even if you're working, even if you are, working with your child or you're working with your student or whoever, slowing down. Like if they say something off the wall, or if they just do something that irks you, or if you're feeling frustrated because they're not getting a certain concept that you're trying to teach them or show them, pause. Pausing is really important. If you are at work and you have a very hectic, crazy job, and like they're sending you emails left, right, and center, you can't respond to everything all at once anyways. So the best thing I would suggest is like to practice slowing down is pause. Take 5, 10, 15 seconds and just stop for a second, catch your breath, and think about how you can prioritize this situation so it's not so overwhelming. So another aspect of slowing down emotionally, I would say, is to keep control of your environment as best you can, right? If you are able to control the sights and the sounds and the smells, or anything tangible in your environment, your immediate environment, try to do that. Maybe you're someone who has a visual impairment, or you're blind, so you're not going to necessarily need pictures or anything like that, but maybe you have beautiful music in the background, or you have something tangible that you can hold on to. Whatever you can add into your sensory to allow you to bring something back to anchor you in, to hold you down, I think is important. Maybe you can position your desk in front of a window so you can look out at something beautiful, or look into your room or a part of your house or your apartment that has pictures and beautiful decorations or something. Cleaning up your space, I think that's a big thing for me. In order to help me to find some peace and to slow down, I have to have an environment that's pretty clean. When I see that my room or any of my living space is like all over the place and messed up, then I feel unorganized, I feel stressed out, I feel anxious. So, really controlling the environment the best way you can, I think, is important. I would also add smells, so like essential oils, things like that, candles. That always helps you to practice slowing down, taking in the moment. music in the background. Some people really thrive with having more aggressive sounds and music or the news or things like that in the background while they're working. I think for some people it can motivate them. It doesn't work for me. I prefer more calming music or positive discussions or podcasts playing in the background if I'm doing something, so it can kind of keep my spirits up and keep me moving forward. So definitely controlling your environment, I think, is a big part of helping you to slow down mentally and emotionally. So I would say patience is another aspect of all of this. Being patient is difficult, it's challenging, but it's necessary because, of course, it brings about a change in our character as well. So when we're patient, we're not just trying to get to the end result of something. I try to think of it like this. Things that are meant to be, fast and, consumed quickly are not necessarily things that are meant to be admired and cherished and valued. So when things happen so quickly, there are exceptions to the rule, right? Some things will happen quickly and it's about the timing of the thing. But overall, when we're trying to achieve a particular goal or get something done, the best you can do is to, be patient with yourself in the process of getting that thing done, especially if it's a long-term goal. So, for example, losing weight. I'd love for myself to be able to lose the goal weight I have, like that. That'd be great. But then am I really taking the time, the process to transform my mind, transform how I interact with food, learn about how I can take care of myself to be healthy? Like, if I do it so quickly, then I may not have the opportunity to really value how I have been, changing my relationship to food. So that's another aspect of being patient, transforming your mind and valuing the process in which you get to the final product. So patience is a virtue, right? It's an important thing. Even having patience with your, the relationships you have with your students, with your child, with the people you work with, it will show you, the more patience you have towards them, it will show you more about yourself. You'll start to see when you have conversations with someone who gets on your nerves or irks you or whatever, you might find aspects of them that you might be able to connect to or relate with that will give you the ability to give them grace, so you're not so agitated by them all the time. And then you might just be agitated with them and not like them, and it is what it is, and you just try to, create some distance between the two. But patience, I think, is really important in this process of slowing down. So silence is another aspect of slowing down that I want to kind of talk about just a little bit. It's pretty simple, right? Like, embrace the silence. Like, try not to have so many things, going on at once, your phone, your TV, your computer. Like, we're really good about that in this day and age, right? We can have our phone on, we can be going and scrolling through our phone through social media, then we can have the TV on, we can be watching a movie or something. We're not really watching it, but it's on, and we can have some music going on. Like, I don't know how people do that when they have so many different modes of technology going on all at once, but we do that. That's just part of what we do now, and we can also be having a conversation at the same time when all this is going on to someone else as well. So I think that silence is something super underrated, and I really want to bring that back into my life, as a practice, and into other people's lives, just embracing it, So taking the time to meditate, being quiet, being still, whatever that looks like for you. For me, as, someone my faith is important, so as a Christian, like, I try to meditate on the word. There might be a scripture that I have that really speaks to my spirit in that moment, and so I try to take the time to sit and, like, meditate on that. What does it mean? Just trying to memorize the words and allow it to really penetrate my heart and my spirit. So that's what I do when I'm trying to embrace silence. I try to take the time to meditate on certain things. I also try to take the time of silence to listen to my breathing, to listen to my breath, just to kind of hear that I'm alive and to hear, you know, how my body is working. Like, I think that's really great for grounding and anchoring yourself. I tell people all the time, like, breathe, you know, make sure you breathe and take deep breaths. And I know everyone like rolls their eyes like, whatever, Randy, but it really does help you to kind of like bring yourself back and ground yourself and embrace the silence when you can take a deep breath and just listen to yourself. I think it's really helpful. So meditation, breathing, and then also kind of tuning into what's going on outside of myself. So if I am trying to silence, you know, embrace the silence and slow down my thinking and what my thoughts are doing, I try to go outside of myself. So if I hear birds chirping or, you know, children laughing or, you know, cars rolling by, I try to kind of, you know, put my attention to that instead of like, okay, this is what I have to do later, I have to do that, I have to do this, I have to answer that email. I just try to really hone into other things outside of myself, and that also helps me to start to embrace the silence. Though it's still noise, it's not noise in my mind that's causing me anxiety and stress and et cetera, et cetera. So when I have opportunities to just be still for a short amount of time, whatever that is, and, you know, breathe a little bit. Maybe there's a scripture that comes to my heart or my mind, or whatever you like to think about and meditate on. You know, I try to think of those things, and it brings me a lot of peace. And then sometimes if I can't necessarily, or if I don't think to do that, and I just attend to what else is going on around me, or even just watching the trees sway, like that to me is also such a beautiful form of, you know, embracing the silence and, you know, kind of meditating, just kind of watching the trees sway back and forth, or just feeling the wind on my skin, things like that, just really trying to tune into what's going on outside of myself. So I hope that that was really helpful for you guys. And again, I understand that, you know, slowing down in the way you'd like to is not always available if you're busy and you're having to do certain things. If you're a frontline worker, if you are a direct care worker and you're like having to be at the residential facility or the hospital or wherever you have to be, I understand that there may not be an obvious opportunity to slow down by taking vacation time or things like that, but I believe you can incorporate some of these things into your busy day to slow down. Even in the midst of the chaos and the craziness, you have an opportunity to pause, to be silent, even if it's for like 10 seconds, you know. You have the opportunity to practice patience and really embracing that and allowing it to transform you and to build up your character. So it's possible. It's really challenging, I know, but anytime I've been able to really practice these things, and I'd like to do it more consistently, I'm not saying I'm consistent with it yet, but anytime I'm able to practice slowing down in these ways, it has really helped me to gain some peace of mind. I can move through challenging situations a little bit easier, but we're still human and we still go through our ups and our downs. But I really hope that you practice some of these things. If you have any other thoughts on slowing down or ways you can slow down, please leave a comment below. So thank you everyone for watching. I really appreciate your support. I hope this information was helpful and you get to practice some of these things to help you slow down, or at least be more mindful of them. If you like the video, please hit the thumbs up button and share. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell for the notification. Then you'll know when I post something new. So I thank you so much, and I will see you guys next week. Remember, you are purposed to love. Bye.